This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster and William Martin. Now, on to the show.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing conversation amongst three lifelong wackos that may contain adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, my friends, to the show that ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Ipicco.
I'm Pat McDonald.
I'm Truman. I'm very stressed. And this is episode 273, Bank Statement.
You know who else is stressed? This friend, or what else is stressed, I should say. The friendship of Sasha Banks and Bailey.
Oh, so stressed. They love each other, though. It's all right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love going around.
I'm sure they'll show their love in a non-physical way at some point.
Boring.
Wrestling.
And there'll be more of that later. But first, Red Bulls with a come-from-behind victory at home over Sporting Kansas City. 1-1 going to the halftime, gave up an early second-half goal. And Chris Armas made the substitution that saved this game, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
He's a tactical genius.
Took out Kaku and put in, I can't even say his name, not going to bother trying.
RZA. His name is the RZA.
Well, I'm trying to say his whole name. Like, I'm going to say his whole name.
Mark Tchaikovsky.
Thank you. RZA. I'm trying to call him RZA.
Yeah, let's stick with RZA. Honestly,
I forgot how to say RZA for a second, so forgive me. I was trying not to do my usual shtick here, so... So he scored two pretty impressive goals, and the Red Bulls won the game. So we'll start off with tweets. Truman, do you need me to do that, or are you good to go?
I thought you were doing it. What happened here?
No, I heard you talking about the Twitter app, so I want to make sure it was okay.
Well, it crashed, so I can't now.
Okay.
Most professional podcast.
Yes. So first, Jeremiah at Red Coach J says, Armas changed that game. Players look like piss in the first half, which I put squarely on them and Jesse. But Armas' decision to replace Kaku with RZA turned it around. Not intuitive, but the right call. Before I go on, how do you put Jesse in this one? Honestly, I mean, it's a whole week removed from him leaving.
Yeah, we don't have to speak of him anymore, right?
I don't know.
After the second game,
I don't know.
How many games can we stop talking about him? What do you think is a good judgment for Chris Armas? 4 games in?
I mean, how long did it take us to stop talking about Pecky?
Well, we're still talking about Pecky. Because, oh my God, put it on we got to talk about Pecky later on in this show.
We do. For a different reason, but yes, we do. That wasn't in the notes, but it's going to be now.
No, it is now.
Why did you fire Pecky?
All right. So next was Fuck Turf SC at Mucho_Trabajo. Murillo makes a huge difference. I think that's an understatement.
Yes.
This was in reply to my "Why are we moving Lukaku" tweet, and Speed Soccer System at Speed Sock Syst, which I think probably has something to do. No, it probably doesn't. Anyway, just the laughing, crying emoji. Chico at Chico FS actually 2 tweets. First, he said, "Man, before that super sub, the Red Bulls looked dead. It looks like Armas is slowly learning how to manage, so that's a good sign. I'm really hoping he doesn't have the same weird attachment to a wheel that Marsh had, because I'm ready for that experiment to end. Sit and lead too."
I don't know who else would play for Blade unless Mario is staying put.
Well, yeah, it's a whole discussion to be had. Anyway, second tweet says, "But so far it's been 3 terrible halves and 1 good half.
Yep.
Not even an entire good half either. It didn't pick up until the subs came on. I'm definitely concerned, but it is early in the tenure of Armas, so I think it can turn around." Red the Bull at RBNY2 in response to Mario making a difference he said, "They did play better when he was on, but it's because Alex had come off."
Ooh, shots.
Yep.
Shots fired against us. Wheel. What? This fan base.
Not Chris Armas. And are you surprised that this was there last week? So you guys surprised that this even is a thing anymore?
Well, you know what's funny? If you look at the timeline, it was a thing like 2 years ago.
No, it was even farther back because it went all the way back to not Hans Backe.
But no, I mean this particular account.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you scroll through the timeline.
I didn't look at the tweets. I just assumed it started when Armas was hired.
No, if you go through the timeline, he was throwing stuff out about wanting to take over as coach like 2 years ago, I think. And then it died off and it was like resurrected like 3 weeks ago.
You're right.
Yeah. Yep.
January 2017, so about a year and a half ago.
Yep. Dedication to a Twitter account.
Yeah, man.
Beard of 300 at Nando Torres 23 said Alex Murillo needs to sit the bench and we need to start Derek, and Murillo needs to start. Don't get why he didn't only play 2 games of the World Cup about a month ago. I'm guessing he means why he didn't play after that, and that's because of the transfer talk that we mentioned last week. And I guess that explains why he was out at the start of the game, but like I asked the question, if he's really in serious transfer talks, why did he play at all? So who knows where he's at?
Yes.
Not getting transferred. That's where he's at.
That would seem like that's a bullet dodge. I'm guessing once I heard the what's it called, the transfer, the kid from Manchester United fell through, Olasanda, which I forget where I heard or read that fell through. I think that kind of made it seem like, all right, well, Murray, they probably told Murray, yeah, you're staying put till the end of the season. Sorry, bro.
All right, so likes and dislikes. Pat, you can go first. What do you dislike about this one?
I dislike that, the first half, they look bad. I mean, that's 3 bad halves now for Armas. I am absolutely not ready to jump on the Chris Armas bandwagon after one good half, especially when a sub that at the time on its face did not make any sense. I think he's extraordinarily lucky that it worked out. I don't think it was like one tweeter said, I don't think it was intuition at all. So, I once again do not think this transition is going smoothly. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully this second half is a sign of things to come. Again, I'm not convinced, and so that's really what it is. That's my big dislike remains, that I am thoroughly not convinced we're perfectly fine after Jesse Marsh flew the coop.
Yeah, and I'm going to just shrink down your thought a little bit and just talk about, especially the first half, was ugly. Ugly. And the worst part was conceding that tying goals as the fans are still singing Twist and Shout.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. You get this weird VAR goal. And I mean, yeah, you didn't even have time to settle back in and they equalized, and it was just horrific after that. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. What an ugly first half. They kind of got lucky a few times there. So,
yeah.
So this is not my dislike, by the way, just making sure it's clear. But since you mentioned the VAR goal, I tweeted that it's only because of the fact that the World Cup was doing this. I would like MLS to follow that example of tight offside calls to let him go, let VAR handle them.
Yep, I'm totally fine with that.
Because then I don't think this would even really stop play. I think because it wasn't even like a close one. BWP was clearly onside by that replay.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we actually had to go to VAR to overturn it is kind of sad. My dislike, I guess I'll just pile on with how bad it is, because I honestly forgot about the VAR goal until you mentioned it. And that was the first goal of the game. So, I mean, like, I blanked out a lot of that game because of just how bad it was.
It was funny, too, because like, it was tough for the fans to celebrate that goal because we didn't even know quite sure if a replay was going on, like from where we were standing. It was very strange, and all of a sudden it was like, yay, and we're like, oh, yay, throw the banner up, hooray, like, I guess.
Yeah, even on MSG, they weren't sure what the hell was going on with that.
Right, yeah, it's very strange.
So, yeah. Like of the game, I guess, I'll go first. I guess the fact that the Rizzo sub did happen to pay off. I mean, as much as it didn't make sense on paper, a win's a win, so you take it how you can get it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit. Let's just talk about making the proper sub. That, I mean, when he comes in, I don't think any of us thought, oh, he's going to be the game changer.
Hell, I tweeted it wasn't.
Yeah, because he's just hasn't really proven it so far. He hasn't had a lot of playing time either, due to injury. But wow, what a great surprise, especially that second goal. The pass from Sean Davis. Actually, the passes for both of his goals were rather spectacular. But I like Sean Davis feeding it right up the middle of the field to him, just outside the box. Was awesome. And scoring on the home end is always fun.
I mean, the likes they got to continue with the RZA train. I mean, you got to when you're given the opportunity, you got to take it by the horns and do what you got to do. And RZA did just that. Getting a prime opportunity coming on for Kaku.
Kaku, not so happy.
No, I don't think so.
Can you blame him?
No.
Yeah. Although I don't think he'll lose his job. Although who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good one. Good job on him to get 2 big goals that get us the 3 points and at least quiet some critics of Chris Armas. Not this one.
I just had thought I'm going to look it up. It would help if I could see. There we go. I'm curious how many goals Kaku has because I feel like it's not that many. Or I know it's not that many, but I feel like RZA might have surpassed him.
Well, he's an assist man, so
right. Yeah, he's not right. But, he's your new Sasha Question. So,
yeah.
At what point do people be like, well, because RZA scored, that means Kaku should sit? Right?
I'm sure there's
I ban them forever from talking to us if there's a guy who says that.
They're fired. They're fired from the fandom.
Well, Kaku at least has 3 goals. So
unless they're patrons. If they give us money, they're allowed.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They can say whatever they want.
That's how it always works. Afterthoughts on this one? Anything?
Yes, just a quick reminder to everybody out there that Sporting Kansas City is a very, very good team. A very good team.
I mean, they were pretty good on the road before they got here, so it's not like.
So we didn't almost lose to San Jose Earthquakes
or DC.
Right. I mean, this was a good game against 2 really good teams. So I know we want to get pissy about a lot of stuff. That second goal, what are you going to do about it? I mean, aside from maybe put a little bit pressure on him before he takes the shot. But again, if you're looking for a great game, this was a great game to watch. This had drama all over it, and especially when you go down and you think, ugh, I'm not winning, It was a game that MLS would like to showcase.
Yeah.
If they were smart.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it was a pretty game. I don't think the Red Bull. I mean, the Red Bulls under Jesse Marsch. They attacked. They stomped on your throat, especially at home. They didn't let you get up. Didn't matter how good a team you were. And I believe it was Matt Doyle. He wrote an article just this past week in his weekly review. He said, yes, Kansas City is a good team, but they were a depleted Kansas City that came into town. I don't know who was missing, but that's what I said, what he said. So I don't think they look pretty. They don't have the Red Bulls right now lack that killer instinct that they had. That has been a staple under Marsh, particularly this year. And again, I think this is another line out of the Doyle article. They cannot rely on RZA to score 2 goals from downtown every week.
No.
Just to bail their asses out. So, no, it is not time to panic, but it is certainly, I think, like the dreams of Supporter Shield, maybe MLS Cup. I think those are the optimism about getting either of those. I think is definitely a bit dimmer than they were for sure.
Man, so down.
I don't look. Nobody is going to convince me the coach leaving midseason is a good thing. Nobody, and I think the fan bases of us and NYCFC know that. I mean, we had another fucking awful attendance this past Saturday. NYCFC, you see it. New York fans are savvy. They know when a coach leaves midseason, it is a bad sign, and it's highly unlikely that it's gonna wind up in Civil War at the end of the year.
But not for nothing. And oh God, I don't want to praise this team, but how's NYCFC done without when they switched coaches?
I think the win against us was the first big win. They were pretty mediocre up to that point.
Well, I think they've only was that his fourth game? I guess I have to go back and look, right? I'm going to look right now. I'm going to tell you because they've been doing pretty good.
Because I remember that was the narrative. The narrative is they were struggling without Villa at the helm.
So he left June. Villa left June 11th, right?
Or is it? I do have that.
Well, okay. So since the beginning of June, so the first game, I'm going to skip the first game in June, which is Orlando. So New York City, since then, before us anyway, they were 1-1-1, and now including us, they've won their last 3.
That's not too bad. I'd say that's pretty damn good. And their past 3 wins have been shutouts. Now, mind you, against the Impact, or whatever, and they're all home games.
And all at home. I was going to say that's
right, a bunch of home games, but still pretty good. And I don't think you'd see a Smurf fan. Well, I mean, most of them are idiots, but a lot of them are saying, "Oh, no way, we're going to win anything now."
I mean, hey, look, their attendance is down. I mean, you can see it on television, just like us. I mean, I don't know our last game was, but I'm sure it was actually there. That's for sure.
Say that again. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you went into outer space.
It's robot mode.
Yeah. No, I said that the attendance at the NYCFC matches is certainly down. You can see. I mean, it's been down all season, but you can certainly see it. I mean, hell, even for the game we were there, they can only get the 2 decks, which, I mean, hey, is a pretty good crowd for MLS, but, recalling where, all 3 levels were used in the past, I think the shine in general is also worn off that team, that's for sure. But, excuse me.
Yeah, you gotta win stuff after a while, to keep those new fans around, and that goes for, I think, any team.
Somehow I stayed around. I don't know what the hell's. Oh, that's right. I'm a Jets fan. I'm used to this crap.
See, that's the difference.
So,
like the Mets. Let me tell you,
I'm getting some modicum of success here. So
this is all I have. This is all I have this summer. That's it. The Mets are a trash bag.
Yeah.
So Red Bulls have to do well.
I mean, it's either this or Roman Reigns, but
Who cares?
I had to. All right. Any other afterthoughts?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I'll definitely pile on the attendance thing real quick. Just, you always know there's trouble when the supporters club Facebook pages are selling tickets, like a bunch of people. That just tells you what overall attendance is going to be like, and it sucked.
Look, I mean, again, unless we're and this is New York. If you're not the best of the best, or you're the Knicks,
right?
Yes. You can't sell out.
Didn't even the Knicks suck or have bad attendance for a while though?
No, the Knicks sell out every home game.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking like official sellouts or actual sellouts?
Yeah, every home game they sell out. They are packed.
Yep.
For whatever reason.
Because it's a very white collar thing to do, but people with lots of money, and it's kind of like half probably Knick fans and half people like, oh, I will take you to the basketball game tonight. Let's go to the game, shall we?
Let's go to the basketball.
Let's sit next to Spike Lee.
And so, therefore, I mean, again, so unless you're, and look, we've, obviously you have this big hiccup in the middle of the season that as we talked to death about already, that people are not they're going to turn the team off a bit. Again, you're not at top of the division. You're not running away with it. And again, New York fans don't like that. And let's face it, we need names. In New York, you need names. You need that. You need that person to drive. And BWP is great. I get it. Kaku is great, but they're not that. They're not that name. That name that's going to bring people into the stadium. So I mean, I think there's a big ass hole on the right wing that they could fill with somebody. With all that allocation money they've gotten in trades that they've never used. That's just me. I don't know. That's how I look at it. The front office does not. So we're going to continue to have attendance woes, I think, this season. Because usually, I feel like in years past, by around now is when it starts to even out and pick up, and just see what it looked like on Saturday. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the transfer window closes at the end of July. So I got to look at that. All right, so you know what? That's not the right. That's the primary transfer window.
I'm pretty sure we got Tim Cahill in August.
July 10th, August 8th this year. Okay, so we got a little bit of time, but honestly, not much. It's like 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, I just saw on Twitter that Ignacio Pizzetto signed in Udinese and Serie A. So.
We were going to talk about that, but yeah, might as well mention that. He's not coming anymore, folks. Not that he was going to come to begin with.
I know.
Come on, let's face it. All right.
Let's move on.
So, one more thing. You know what I liked about this match? The fact that Pat didn't get his 2-2 draw, so you and I both won.
Wah.
Boop, 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 boop.
So, ranks don't change. You're still in first trim, but we both got a point. You're now at 12. I'm at 10, and Pat is in third with 7. Starting to get we're starting actually to kind of rack up points finally.
Yeah.
And I looked at previous years. I'm pretty sure like this is not the worst year, but it's not the best. It's like the second or third worst year we've had. So,
Cool.
All right. So this coming Saturday, July 21st, 7 p.m., the Red Bulls will host the New England Revolution. But before that, it is Forza Lucha Day.
Woo! Yay! Woo!
And I will be in attendance.
Yeah! Yeah!
Second in 6 years. Look at that. I'm finally making it, right?
You did it.
I did it. But the Red Bulls will be facing New England team that's coming in with a record of 7-6-7, 28 points. I think that puts them in fourth or fifth in the East right now. I'm not really sure because I didn't write that part down. Plus 3 goal differential, 1-3-4 on the road. So not a great road team. Last 5 for the Revolution: draw, win, draw, and then 2 losses in a row. So not coming in on a good stretch of play either. Predictions, Truman, since you're in the lead, you get to go first. What's going to happen on Saturday?
What the fuck do you think's going to happen? It's Forza Lucha Day, baby.
Well, that means you guys pick
losing.
You got to pick a score at least.
They ain't losing. They're winning. They're winning. Now, I'm trying to think back. They won a game 2-0, 2-1. Was there a 2-1 game? There's a 4-0, the 3-1.
4-0 was what I went to against Montreal.
Yeah, so let's say, oh boy, I'm going to take it down a notch. I'm going to say 3-1 win for the Red Bulls. They ain't fucking losing, okay? It's just not happening on Forza Day. If they do, I burn the stadium to the ground. I put Chris Armas on the cement shoes. Right? A lot of terrible things going to happen. I'll stone cold stun Kaku, like whatever I have to do. They are listen, they're winning, okay? Forza Lucha Day. I don't even have to say anymore. I don't have to tell you who's going to score. It's just happening.
Who's the Viking again? I can't remember his name.
Oleg the Usurper.
Yeah, he'll storm the field.
Yes.
There you go.
He'll lead a real Viking army, right?
Sure,
why not?
Come on. I kind of had to. Anyway. Let's see, 3-1. You know what? Given New England's track record on the road this year, I'm going to go a little better case of the Red Bulls. I'm going to go 3-0 win. Plus, I'm not going 4-0, but I mean, the last time I was there, they shut them out on Forza Day, so I have to think it's going to happen again.
2-0. I don't think it'll be particularly impressive, but New England's a bad team, so I think they'll win. 2-0 win. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so there you have it. Not much else to talk about because, it's New England. Next up, New York Red Bulls 2. They actually played 2 games. We only talked about the one last time. First, they had a 5-1 win over the Richmond Kickers at home.
Second, Richmond.
Then they followed it up yesterday with a 2-1 win at the Bethlehem Steel.
At?
Yeah, at.
At?
I don't think so. At
least that's what it looked like when I looked it up. I'm going to double check now.
I'm convinced that was a home game.
Oh, you're right. I misread it. It was a home game.
Because they already played 2 against them on the road, I believe.
Okay. Yep. So that was my fault. I misread it. Their next game is this Saturday 21st at FC Cincinnati, 7:30 p.m. start time. Sky Blue FC still winless on the year, 4-0 loss against the North Carolina Courage, and they'll hopefully break that this week against Portland Thorns, 7 p.m. on Saturday. Unfortunately, there's some bad news circulating this team right now.
Is that what you call it? Bad news?
Bad news.
That's the nice way of putting it.
I'm afraid this team's got some bad news.
Whatever happened to him? Is he wrestling anymore?
No.
He's
involved in wrestling, but he's not actually wrestling.
Okay. Anyway. So if you haven't heard, go check out. So I saw that 2 places had it. I think Equalizer Soccer was one, but there's stuff with behind a paywall. And then Stephanie, I can't remember her name, the one who wrote the onceametro.com. The woman, Stephanie Yang, who actually is kind of like SB Nation's like general NWSL person. That's why she had the scoop she did for the story. Player conditions are not that good.
I would say pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah, pretty horrible. If you read the piece, it's a very shitty situation all around. The players don't really interact with the owners. The GM apparently doesn't give a crap about anything. They don't have a consistent practice field, and they'll get messages day of telling them where to go. There was one instance they were told to bring water to practice, then a few hours later told not to worry about it. The locker rooms at Rutgers don't have AC, don't really have a shower option, so they have to generally go home to shower after the game. Which for some players is up to an hour and a half from the stadium. The league provides each team with or has a budget for each team for housing costs for the year, and apparently that's going to like almost nothing because you get stories of people that are moving like 2 or 3 times during the year. There's rental cars the team has that apparently got through somebody they know, and they're like very hesitant to give them up to players, especially ones that have to travel a long time to get to the practices and stuff. And it's just, it sounds really, really horrible what these players have to go through. And what's worse, on top of that, it sounds like the attitude is keep your mouth shut because we should be happy we have a league. And that's coming from other players, not even from like front office staff. That's other players on the team that are providing that kind of mentality. And that's just really sad.
I have a solution. And it's not the greatest of solutions. And I only say that because of where I would like them to play. But I would like them to play at the Somerset Patriots ballpark. Now, I mean, obviously it'd be kind of annoying to fit a soccer field there, which they have done before, twice in the first existence of Sky Blue. But at least then you would have professional locker rooms, a good location. Let their owners take over. I mean, I don't think that would ever happen, but I mean, the dude who owns the Patriots got lots of money. He owns like the Flemington Auto Mile.
Oh,
so yeah, dude's got cash.
Well, I mean, if you can make it in Flemington, you're a big fucking deal,
right? That would be, if I could choose, that would be my choice. And I know it would be tough again to make a soccer field there, but I mean, it would be 100 times better than what's going on at Rutgers. 100 times.
I mean, I know somebody who is close to the team. It's about as I never really asked anybody if I could drop this knowledge, so I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it as vague as possible. There are plenty of rumors going around in-house that this is Sky Blue's last season. That there's a very good chance they're going to fold, which is it's a shame. I personally think at this point, much like the NBA funds the WNBA, much like European powerhouses fund their own women's team there. For women's soccer to take off in this country, it's going to have to be when MLS is willing to absorb those teams and absorb the losses that come with them. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen anytime soon because I don't know how many are turning a profit in MLS, but if they are, it's only just started. So I don't think they're going to take on something that loses money right away again. So it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I mean, the best thing we can hope for is that, hopefully the World Cup next year will bring more eyes on women's soccer, the game, and hopefully a women's league. But it's just one of those things. It's what's going to, excuse me, one of those things one of those unfortunate realities of life. I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a big money operation willing to lose money to fund it.
It's tough when you lose a team that's based in Boston. Mm-hmm. And then this is like a strong possibility of losing your only team in the New York metropolitan area. And it's not really in the New York metropolitan area, but it's the closest thing they have.
Right.
That's devastating for, I think, any league.
I mean, is there a team in Philly?
No.
The closest.
So, I mean, if Sky Blue folds, then you're talking about losing the entire Northeast.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Then it's just down to DC at that point.
Mm-hmm. Then your eastern teams are basically DC, North Carolina, and Chicago. I don't know anybody else that's like, east of Chicago aside from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I remember a few years ago, there was the rumor that the Red Bulls were interested in buying, either buying Sky Blue FC or having a somewhat of a controlling stake in it. But the owners or at least the owners at the time, because I don't think Phil Murphy owned any part of the team at this point, they didn't want to give the team up because one of the conditions was branding the team as, Red Bulls related. I don't know how much that would have been true. I mean, I can imagine if the Red Bulls get any sort of control in this team, that would have been one of their things. But honestly, and this is just kind of goes along with what Pat said. Like, I think the best thing for them might be is if, honestly, either team buying them would be the best option. But I think the Red Bulls would be a better fit because they have the training facility, which I know. Hear me out. So they have the training facility, which has like 3 or 4 fields on it right now, I think. So as much as the locker room facilities may not be there at the moment, like they at least have they would have a consistent place to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then presumably they could leverage their New York Red Bulls 2 connection with Montclair and host the games in Montclair.
That'd be an okay place.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of feel like I see the Red Bulls' current investment in their Major League Soccer team, and I just don't see them taking over a women's team.
No, at this point, I don't. I think a few years ago that rumor made sense when they didn't have the USL side, but now since they're operating the USL side and they're not investing in any sort of stadium for the USL side, I think it makes it kind of obvious that they're not going to. They're not really going to invest in NWSL. So honestly, I think New York City would be a good team to step in. And honestly, City Football Group has a few women's teams under it. Manchester City has one. Melbourne City has one. So it's a place that they've been before. Mm-hmm. They're invested in women's soccer. So if they could invest in Sky Blue and then help them out, I think that would actually be the best thing right now. Even better, honestly, even a better deal than the Red Bulls. I just think the Red Bulls make some sense because they have facilities to lean against for certain things.
I think that's definitely. I mean, I think you're right about City Football Group being opponents of women's soccer. But yeah, the facilities issues certainly. Unless Red Bull and City Football Group can come together.
Ha! Ha ha! Ha!
And man, I really feel bad for Phil Murphy, one of the owners of Sky Blue. I really do.
How can he afford it?
How could he possibly afford it? I mean, so for equality. Okay, I'm going too far.
I mean, come on.
I'm going too far in one direction. I'm sorry.
Gotta get central back there, Pat. Gotta get back in that center lane.
I'm trying to limit my feelings about the current governor of the state of New Jersey, but
listen, as long as you don't mess with my Red Bulls or my Somerset Patriots, I don't care. Don't mess with the Miners either. I like them too.
Anyway, yeah, it's a sad situation. Hopefully something turns around. And all I can say is if you're interested in women's soccer, whether or not the rumors of them possibly folding are true, if you have the chance, go support them because God bless the women that are willing to play on that team and go through those conditions to try to make it in soccer, right? Because it's already kind of an uphill climb for women, but to go through the conditions that you read about,
it's brutal.
They deserve support. So if you can do it, I'd say go watch games, go support them. Actually, it's all right. One of the last things about it is apparently the staff of Rutgers wants to rush them out of the stadium. And it's like the best part about the games, especially for the little kids that go, is the fact that they get to line up along the railing and greet the players. No conditions, no nothing. And it's just like they're taking away, or Rutgers anyway, is taking away the one thing that probably provides the most I'm trying to think the right word. The most job satisfaction right now for the women playing on the team is that the fact they get to go and see the kids and make them happy.
It's a double-edged sword because you figure those people are probably paid minimum wage and just want to go the fuck home.
I know. I'm not blaming the Rutgers people. It's just kind of sad that's
it's a terrible situation. Yeah. It's just a terrible situation all around.
And
we three of us were there. I mean, that field is garbage. I mean, like. We all saw it firsthand,
Yeah, and hearing that there's probably like some shitty rental agreement where it's like you have exactly this amount of time, so if they don't rush them off the field, it's like the Rutgers is going to get mad at their employees, not Sky Blue for taking too long kind of thing. Anyway. All right, we talked about Ignacio, so we're going to skip him. World Cup final is in the books, and I think we can agree that for the most part it was a pretty exciting match.
Yeah. Surprisingly so.
Yeah. France 4, Croatia 2. Kind of wish it was closer. I thought Croatia deserved to be a little closer. But hey, France put in a very good performance in that game. And absolutely deserves, and this whole tournament, they just deserve to walk away with that title. So the one thing I have to ask, because Croatia's coach made a big deal of it, is the PK call that VAR corrected, or whatever you want to call it, but that VAR had a hand in. Was the PK a correct call?
I don't remember.
I have watched 1,000 views, and they never gave me a great one, a really great one to go, yes. But you know what? He looked at it. They probably have better angles than we do, so whatever.
See, I was going to say it was because he was, at natural motion or not, he was swinging his arm from the fact that he was jumping. So his hand was coming down and hitting the ball. It wasn't.
Yeah, I remember the call now. I would have said no, but what? Okay, I just saw a tweet that I'm assuming Truman wrote, but
maybe.
Anyway, yes, I do remember now. I would have said no just because, I mean, it was kind of like what the French guy ducked, and the guy's arm was where it was, and it's not like he made a motion to block the ball. But whatever. I mean, but it was away from the body. I mean, you can't argue that. Look, all I care, it was an exciting fight. It was a fun final to watch. It wasn't a 1-0 bogged down type of final that we've grown accustomed to.
Extra time.
No extra time, exactly. Derby Road was popping. More Croatian fans than French fans, which I found interesting. So it was a good time. And, of course, the most important thing to remember, the U.S. kids tied the World Cup champions before the World Cup. So
we're the co-champs.
Champions 2022. It's coming home. It's coming home. Soccer's coming home.
Hey, we have our own version. That's not how it sounds, okay?
We do? There's an American version of that?
Not really. It's just a song coming home. I can't remember who sings it.
Oh,
the one with like Jay-Z or whatever it is.
Alicia Keys, my friend.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys. But like, I thought Jay-Z like was featured in it or something like that. Anyway.
He was. You would be correct. Hey, and lest we forget, who got this right? Who predicted it before the World Cup started?
Our guest did.
Yeah. Even Keel. On point. We stuck.
And I felt like we should have tweeted at him saying congratulations on predicting that, but we missed our chance.
I think I did it. Never on Twitter.
It's 100% on Twitter.
On the shows?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The man just doesn't go on Twitter anymore, I don't think.
That's fair.
He liked it. I think he liked it.
Okay. Good job for doing the job I didn't think we did yesterday.
We got you.
I get normal
my friend.
stuff, so you're okay. It works out. All right. Can I clean wisdom teeth? Have them a little dumber?
Yes. I'll fully accept that.
Yeah, so by the way, for anybody that needs an update, 3 wisdom teeth out on last Friday. Thankfully, I'm doing okay. Only had to take Percocet for a day, so at least there's that.
Yeah, you just take it for like 2 or 3 to be a full-blown heroin addict.
Yeah, I made sure not to go there. Still hurts a little bit, but that's okay. Basically yanked the teeth right out. Didn't have to do anything special. And that's why it hurts. Anyway, that's not the important thing. The important thing is Forza Lucha.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I'm not going to give you the match breakdowns, all right? We have like 400 social media accounts. You know what's going down. It's on Saturday. Doors are at 1. Show starts at 2. $10 to get in. All the money goes to charity. We're going to have a shit ton of raffle items. Okay? Shit ton. That's last I checked. I think the actual number was shit ton. All right?
That is an actual measurement, by the way.
Yeah, shit ton. It's going to be an amazing show. We have 8 matches on hand. Maybe we'll have 15 more matches. I don't know. But we do have 8 matches booked. Tons of awesome people. Would you guys, since you guys know, I think almost all of the matchups.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, Jay sucks.
I suck too.
You guys are idiots.
Well, he's videotaping. You think he cares about who's actually wrestling? As long as he
all right. Well, listen. I'm just going to tell you, I'm excited about every match.
I hope so. You're running it.
But I think the one match I'm really hoping is going to tear the roof off is Matt McIntosh, the most hated man in Red Bull fandom history, and Oleg the Usurper. I think that match is going to be amazing. We're also going to have a children bring the weapons match. So if you're coming and you have children, bring toys.
What if somebody brings a barbed wire bat?
No, that is not a child's toy. A child should not have a barbed wire bat. If a child has a barbed wire bat, you're a terrible parent.
Oh, or you're Tommy Dreamer.
Right. Listen, what you should do is go. We have an event page on Facebook. Go on our Instagram. Go on our Twitter. Everything is Forza Lucha. We're very easy to find. Go on our YouTube page because MC Hale will give you all the matches. He'll tell you about all of them. It's going to be an awesome time. We have some shirts made up. The shirts are awesome. We're going to have beer there. And all the beer sales are going right to the charity. How about that?
Cool.
How about that? Huh?
Good,
how about that?
You can get drunk for a good cause.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Hey, I was wondering if I should bring the 6-pack in. Now I'm not. Now I'm buying the Forza beer.
Yeah. So listen, bring your food and non-alcoholic beverages because there won't be any there. There's a Quick Check right down the road. Just so you know, 2 blocks away, you can walk to it. There's a hot dog truck right across the
Wawa.
No Wawa. All right. No Wawa, but there is a Quick Check. I know, deal. So listen, like I said, it's at the Holy Cross Rec Center in Harrison. All the information's on our social media pages. I'm going to be there. Show up or I will kill you. And how about this? How about more incentive? That at intermission, if you're coming to the show, we will give you the triple Red Bull Rant high five.
There you go.
There you go.
Right?
First time,
right?
I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah. So listeners, go to the show. Let's all high five.
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody wants to replace me as video guy?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Oh.
Is Two Roads Brewing Company the
It is.
because I was looking up the Holy Cross so I could find parking, and that was like the 5th result for right now for Holy Cross Rec Center. Harrison.
Nice, yeah.
Is their event page?
Sweet,
Cool.
That's awesome.
yeah. So listen, it's going to be awesome. All the money raised goes to charity, goes to the AIDS Resource Foundation for Children of Newark. Everything. Show up. I don't care if you don't like wrestling. Just come and hang out and get awesome raffle prizes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Or drink.
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't want to cure AIDS, well, then you're just a bad person.
Yeah. It's going to be an amazing time. I can't wait. I'm of course a ball of stress, which will not stop on Saturday. And after the show, I'll be quite relieved until Pat and I then have to start editing it immediately. So that'll be fun too.
Which won't be next week.
So here's a question for a guy that hasn't been there before, and for people that didn't go last year to the rec center. Is there parking aside from the lots next to Red Bull Arena? Is there parking somewhere in between?
There's a parking lot caddy corner to the Holy Cross School.
Is that actually going to be open on game day?
It will be open. It's open for the church. It will be open for us.
Oh, nice. And can we leave the car there during the game?
I would not.
Okay, but at least, hey, that's still good though, because that means I don't have to walk too far.
Right.
Check the 5 o'clock mass.
What? Yeah, there's a church.
5 o'clock mass. Yeah.
Well, what time is it runs till 6 though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it'll be over probably by 5. But also, first of all, Pat's joking, and the church is not the school. The church is next, so it wouldn't matter.
I'm saying that church lot. I'm saying, it could be used for people who want to go to church for 5 o'clock mass, which is why, to your point, that you would not park there throughout the game. Is what I'm saying.
Yes, right.
I'm fine driving down the roads and getting paying for parking next to stadiums. That's not a problem.
I parked on the street. So.
You can also honestly park in the garage and walk up because it's not terribly far from the stadium.
Nope, I'm just looking for options. That's all.
Yeah.
I parked on the street, but I also arrive early because I have to set up some shit.
Yep. All right. So, anything else for Dumping Ground?
No, that's the final thing. I expect to see everybody there. I really do. I really want people there.
By the way, if you like beer, you don't know Two Roads, you can go just for that. They have good beer.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So, last thing is Terrible Team of the Week.
Yeah. Listen, speaking of the New England Revolution, okay, they, boy, you want to talk about screwing the pooch because they screwed it big time. They went down a man early, I think in like the 22nd minute, something like that. They went down a man. Mind you, they're at home. They were up 2-1. And then they gave up 2 goals in stoppage time in the second half. And if that doesn't hurt, you know what really hurts? The game winner, party boy Chris Pontius.
Oh boy!
I mean, not a big. The Red Bull fans certainly not a fan of him. But yeah, good God, to survive a game to go down a man, and they scored both goals down a man. And they give up a goal in the 90th plus 2 and 90th plus 3. Ouch. At home.
That's some dynamite ineptitude.
So they're clearly not going to recover from that horrible loss going into this game.
Yeah. One can only hope.
Hope. We know.
Okay. It's Forza Day. You're right. All right. So is that it? Are we done?
Yes, we're done. I got more Forza shit to do.
All right, let's wrap this one up then so Truman can get out of here and do his stuff. Patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. That's Patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month. All it takes for the exclusive content, such as the monthly wrap-ups and the post-game, which I will try to do after this game. We'll have to talk about that at some point. See what I know Truman's going to be busy and may get dragged away real quick, but we'll see what we can do for this week. Email us at redbullrant@gmail.com. You can call us 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter at Red Bull Rant. For the show at Dr. Stooge for myself, at PMAC, D82 for Pat, at The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
I don't even have to say win because they're going to win.
Yeah, win. Do it.
All right. So for Pat, Truman, and myself, this has been episode number 273 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, go Red Bulls.
Wrestling!
Shit!